That is the one picture they show over and over. And that one picture is kind of iconic. We were having fun. We stayed in the top 10 for 5 years.
Jaclyn Smith's charismatic grin and mesmerizing eyes will be forever associated with her performance as Kelly Garrett on Charlie's Angels. Little is known about her early life problems, yet they molded a strong and fearless lady. This is the story behind her celebrity. One of Hollywood's most adored faces, Jaclyn grew up as a little girl in Texas who wanted to be a ballet dancer. But the storms she weathered, 4 tumultuous marriages, deep loss grieving, and a potentially fatal fight with breast cancer, could not be hidden by the limelight. An memorable and profoundly moving narrative unfolds with each passing episode of her life. Through thick and thin, how did Jaclyn Smith keep her star power and become an icon throughout the world? What happened in the course of her incredible voyage, which was laden with difficulties? Also, how is Jaclyn Smith doing these days? Enter the remarkable life of the man behind Hollywood's glitz and glamour, a life filled with inspiration despite the struggles he endured. Jaclyn Smith came into this world in Houston, Texas, to parents Margaret Ellen and Jack Smith, a Jewish doctor from Russia, on October 26, 1945. As a child, Jaclyn benefited from her mother's multi-ethnic heritage, which included English, Scottish, Irish, and Welsh ancestry. She frequently reminisced about her humble upbringing in Houston, which was rich with precious family moments. Jaclyn received her high school diploma in 1964 from Mirabeau B. Lamar. Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas offered her a degree in psychology and drama, so she decided to attend there. However, Jaclyn made a crucial choice to abandon her studies after just 1 year in order to follow a route that was more in line with her genuine desire. Moving to New York City was a watershed moment for Jaclyn. Her first goal in enrolling at the Ballet School of American Ballet was to pursue a career in ballet. But there was no simple way to live in New York. Ballet was not meant for Jaclyn, she realized under the strain of training and the rigorous atmosphere. This is when her interest in acting and the performing arts first began to blossom. Jaclyn went from being a ballerina student to a successful model and actress. Small advertising efforts, such as those for Breck hairspray and Listerine mouthwash, gave her start. Despite their seeming modesty, these parts gave Jaclyn her breakthrough and showcased her inherent talent for film. Giving up on her dance dreams was a turning point, not a setback. A teenager from a little town in Texas became one of the most beloved icons on television because to one daring decision that set the direction for her whole life and career. Notoriety did not follow Jaclyn Smith's arrival in Hollywood. Instead, she relied on perseverance and hard work to build her profession from the ground up, seizing even the tiniest possibilities. Today, many people can only dream of her level of success. Becoming known as the Breck Girl and chosen as the face of Breck shampoo was one of her earliest significant accomplishments. More than merely an ad campaign, this was the pinnacle of 1970s beauty and sophistication. Jaclyn's photograph was featured in periodicals all throughout the United States, solidifying her status as a well-known celebrity. Simultaneously, Jaclyn and Farrah Fawcett worked together in an ad for Wella Balsam shampoo. This collaboration marked the beginning of a strong friendship as well as a professional partnership. On subsequent years, as co-stars on Charlie's Angels, they became even closer, eventually becoming one of television's most adored pairs. On the other hand, Jaclyn encountered some obstacles along the way. Unfortunately, she was not cast as Victoria Winters in Dark Shadows despite her tryout. Kate Jackson was cast in the role, and it was she who would subsequently put Jaclyn in touch with Charlie's Angels producers. Jaclyn was inspired to keep pushing herself and looking for better chances because of her setback, not discouraged by it. The appearance that Jaclyn had in 1970 in The Adventurers was another big break. Despite the film's financial failure, it was her breakthrough performance, playing a journalist caught up in the middle of a significant story. It was in this part that Jaclyn was able to demonstrate her acting chops and demonstrate that she was more than skin deep. Even though Jaclyn Smith's early career wasn't flashy or famous, it was full of grit and dedication. The The courageous woman did not sit about hoping for good fortune. Rather, she made the most of every chance that came her way. With her dogged persistence, Jaclyn paved the way for a new chapter in her career, one that would bring her prominence. The turning point in Jaclyn Smith's career came after years of consistent, dogged advancement. Her breakthrough came in 1976 when she landed the part of Kelly Garrett on Charlie's Angels, a role that would go on to change her life and make her a legend all over the world. Although Jaclyn wasn't originally the leading candidate, she snagged the part because to her endearing good looks, magnetic presence, and adaptable acting chops. From its September 1976 debut, Charlie's Angels swept the globe in its enthralling storytelling and developed an intense devotion. In addition to being TV icons, Jaclyn Smith, Farrah Fawcett, and Kate Jackson became household names thanks to their appearances on a wide variety of commercial items, including books, board games, dolls, and promotional material. Thanks to the show's popularity, Jaclyn became well-known, and her position as a worldwide icon was further cemented. Jaclyn demonstrated her skill and profound connection to the character Kelly Garrett by remaining with the program for all 5 seasons from 1976 to 1981. Her portrayal of the perfect woman, smart, powerful, and graceful, was a testament to her commitment to the role. A remarkable performance as Jaclyn Bouvier Kennedy in the 1981 TV movie of the same name garnered Jaclyn a Golden Globe nomination and continued to showcase her versatility when Charlie's Angels disbanded. Jaclyn was able to take on challenging parts and establish herself as an actress, not only a beauty symbol thanks to this landmark. After her breakthrough, she went on to star in several critically acclaimed films, including Windmills of the Gods, 1988, Rage of Angels, 1983, and Family Album, 1994. Her ability to give characters subtlety and complexity in every part she played solidified her position in show business. Not only was Jaclyn's ability on display in the critically acclaimed Charlie's Angels, but her portrayal of Jaclyn Bouvier Kennedy and other memorable characters won over viewers. She became an adored character, and award ceremonies like the People's Choice Awards often acknowledged her as one of the most beloved TV actors of the 70s and 80s. She was an enduring celebrity whose charisma reached well beyond the confines of the silver screen, forever altering the course of popular culture. Jaclyn Smith was an early pioneer in the field of personal branding, having decided she wanted more from her career than just acting. It was a daring and unorthodox move for her to start a clothing brand in 1985 in collaboration with Kmart. Jaclyn decided to launch a brand with her name instead of just using it as a spokeswoman. The collection's sophisticated yet reasonably priced style won over millions of buyers, propelling it to the top of Kmart's popularity charts. Following this first success, Jaclyn broadened her product offerings to encompass furniture, bedding, and bathroom items. Her designs and practicality were a reflection of her personal style. The 2008 launch of Jaclyn and Paula Young's line of wigs, created by Jose Eber, a famous hairdresser, cemented Jaclyn's standing as a businesswoman. Authentic beauty and self-assurance were the goals of the collection's target audience of women. Nevertheless, there were a few hiccups. A number of reviewers and buyers have brought to light quality discrepancies in her apparel and home decor collections. This notwithstanding, Jaclyn continued to listen to criticism and make product improvements, demonstrating that her business endeavors were motivated by more than just stardom. They were also driven by a true love of what she did. Jaclyn had close links to the Hollywood community alongside her commercial pursuits. Being the sole actress from the original series to make an appearance in the more recent sequels, she resumed her role as Kelly Garrett in Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, 2003, and Charlie's Angels, 2019. It was a heartfelt homage to her followers and a reminder of her timeless appeal that spanned decades. In addition to her mesmerizing performances on Charlie's Angels, Jaclyn Smith's dynamic personal life is just as compelling. The radiance of achievement was frequently entwined with incessant obstacles. She went through a frenzied fight with illness, 4 marriages, and devastating losses. In spite of everything, Jaclyn never lost her positive outlook, her commitment to a healthy lifestyle, or her love for her family. In her first marriage, Jaclyn was full of naivete and aspirations when she wed actor Roger Davis. She met Roger in New York while dancing classes, and after just 2 dates, he proposed. Unfortunately, Jaclyn lost herself in the relationship due to her lack of love experience, as she reflected on it afterward. They tried marriage therapy, but in 1975 they still split up. This was Jaclyn's initial encounter with the significance of protecting oneself in romantic partnerships. Second marriage. While working on Charlie's Angels, she met actor Dennis Cole. Dennis won her over with his romantic gestures, such as sending flowers and poems, and in 1978 the pair secretly wed in New York with only 25 guests. Sadly, the love affair didn't last. Media pressure and stress from work eventually put a strain on their relationship, which had been going well for almost 2 years. Dennis, who despised the title Mr. Jaclyn Smith, felt eclipsed by her stardom. Jaclyn learned a valuable lesson about juggling love and profession when her marriage ended in 1981, but she also felt a deep feeling of failure. Jaclyn loved Dennis's son Joe Cole very much and remained very close to him even after they were no longer living together. Jaclyn was profoundly affected by the tragic loss of Joe in 1991 when he was murdered during a robbery. Aside from being an emotional blow, she had previously said that the loss served as a sobering reminder of how precarious life is. Third marriage. In 1981, Jaclyn Smith entered a new chapter in her life as a mother with the beginning of her third marriage to Tony Richmond, a famous director. The joy of her life is surpassed only by her 2 children, Spencer and Gaston. Gaston Richmond, who was born in 1982, continued his family's filmmaking tradition and contributed to noteworthy work such as Netflix's SEAL Team. Gaston still keeps in touch with his mom, whom he affectionately refers to as the sunshine of my life. Jaclyn frequently posts touching photos of the 2 of them together on social media, particularly for important occasions like birthdays and family gatherings. Spencer Margaret Richmond was born in 1985 and carries on her mother's artistic spirit. Spencer by Jaclyn Smith is a children's product business that Jaclyn Smith and Spencer co-founded in 2017. This significant occasion brought into focus the close relationship between Jaclyn and her daughter, as well as her affection for her granddaughter, Spencer's daughter, who served as the collection's inspiration. The marriage of Jaclyn to Tony Richmond, nevertheless, was not trouble-free. Separation in 1989 marked the end of a difficult but ultimately rewarding chapter in Jaclyn's life, during which she devoted herself wholeheartedly to raising her children. Jaclyn finally settled down with Dr. Brad Allen in 1997 after 3 troubled marriages. Brad, in contrast to her other spouses, was a thoracic surgeon and not involved in show business. Not only did this connection stabilize Jaclyn's life, but it also provided her with immense support during her most difficult health battle to date. Jaclyn was informed that she had early-stage breast cancer in 2003 while she was at her annual appointment. Even though the news was upsetting, Jaclyn was not going to allow herself to be defeated. She underwent surgery and radiation treatments with resolute resolve as she dove headfirst into the fight. Brad was there for her every step of the way, providing unwavering support and care as she underwent therapy. During those tough days, she found strength in the support of her children, Gaston and Spencer, as well as in her close friends. The love of her loved ones, Jaclyn said, illuminated her path to finding her purpose in life. In order to safeguard her health and keep her classic beauty after recovering from her sickness, Jaclyn Smith took up a healthy lifestyle. Making sure everyone has strong social ties is one of her big secrets. Keeping near to her loved ones, whether they be family, friends, or admirers, not only makes Jaclyn happy, but it also improves her health. From quick get-togethers with friends to more formal family meals, she never lets her hectic schedule prevent her from spending quality time with her loved ones. She also has a regular social media presence, where she shares ordinary moments with her admirers and shares stories about her fight for health and beauty. In the end, the most crucial secret is her positive attitude. Optimism and the pursuit of happiness are the cornerstones of Jaclyn's daily routine. A cheerful outlook, in her view, is a miracle cure for staying young and full of energy, and it also helps one overcome obstacles. Thanks to these routines, Jaclyn Smith has been able to keep her stunning good looks and her reputation as an inspiration for strength, vitality, and joy. Reflecting on Jaclyn Smith's personal life, it becomes evident that despite facing hardships, she emerged stronger. Jaclyn has maintained her optimism, healthy lifestyle, and love for her family through her 4 marriages and her struggle with illness. She is a role model for perseverance and success in the face of hardship, and she is also a legendary figure in her field. On and off film, Jaclyn is an inspiration because of how hard she works to provide for her family and herself. The public's first thought upon hearing the name Jaclyn Smith is usually the stunning and talented Kelly Garrett she played on Charlie's Angels. But her story goes much beyond what you see on TV. A phenomenon with many facets Jaclyn has become. She was an early adopter of the idea of personal branding, which allowed her to break away from the stereotypical Hollywood star and use her popularity for good. Whether it was her Kmart fashion brand, furniture collections, or wig lines, Jaclyn wasn't only a face on a label, she was an integral part of the creative process, resulting in functional and distinctive goods. Not only might this be a marketing tool, but it could also serve as a means of expressing one's creative style and way of life. Jaclyn Smith portrayed the modern woman on cinema with unwavering self-confidence, strength, and independence. She broke preconceptions in her depiction of Kelly Garrett, who was both one of the most renowned angels and a symbol in her own right. Despite social obstacles, the role served as an example for generations of women to believe in themselves, discover their talents, and achieve their loftiest ambitions. Beyond her professional life, Jaclyn has made a positive impact on the community via her influence. Both her private life and her relationships with others were profoundly affected by her struggle with breast cancer. The message of health and optimism that Jaclyn offered via her participation in awareness initiatives was profound. She gave an open and moving account of her struggle with sickness and subsequent recovery in the 2010 documentary 1 Minute, which reached millions of women around the world and served as an inspiration to them. Jaclyn Smith, who is 79 years old, never ceases to amaze and astound the audience with her remarkably young beauty. With her 4th husband, Brad Allen, Jaclyn is living the good life alongside her famous job and loving, close-knit family. There has been no fading of the affection between Jaclyn and Brad. In 2024, on the occasion of their 27th wedding anniversary, Jaclyn posted an emotional video to Instagram in which she expressed her gratitude to Brad, saying, "You're my best friend, my partner in life, the one who makes me laugh through every up and down and takes care of all of us, even my little girlfriend." Jaclyn also mentioned that Brad's company brings her happiness and encourages her to take care of herself physically and mentally. "He reminds me to stick to a low-fat diet and is always an inspiration for me to take care of myself," said the woman. Jaclyn and Brad currently live in a lavish California mansion, where they take pleasure in quiet family gatherings and live in harmony with one another. She frequently shares training videos with them which are full of joy and laughter, demonstrating that age is nothing more than a number. "We found a way to laugh and exercise at the same time. It's what keeps us motivated every day." Jaclyn's family is still the most important thing in life. Gaston is a filmmaker, and Spencer is her co-founder of the children's brand Spencer by Jaclyn Smith. Both of her children from her marriage to Tony Richmond receive her undivided attention. Jaclyn takes great pride in being a grandma to Olivia, Rose, and Ren, her 3 grandchildren. She exclaimed, "The love for your children is immense, but the love for your grandchildren surpasses all words." This was her way of expressing her excitement at becoming a grandmother. A number of Jaclyn Smith's business endeavors are still growing. She is said to be worth $150 million, much of which comes from her personal brand empire. Even though she beat breast cancer over 20 years ago, she is still very involved in charitable work, especially in the fight against the illness. Jaclyn Smith's present life is an illuminating example of how to successfully juggle one's professional, familial, and personal responsibilities. Despite the challenges she has had in her marriages and her battles with disease, Jaclyn remains a shining example of how a strong will and positive attitude can overcome any obstacle, regardless of age. Through her own struggles and the bonds she has built, Jaclyn Smith has shown the value of perseverance and the significance of love within a family. She has been an inspiration throughout her life, from the storms of her marriages to the triumphs of her successful work and the happiness of her current existence. Tell me which part of Jaclyn Smith's incredible story touched you the deepest. Feel free to provide your opinions in the space provided. If you enjoyed this and would want to see more motivational tales from Hollywood icons, please subscribe and give it a like. Let her devoted fan base carry Jaclyn Smith's memory forward. Stay tuned for our next video.